Welcome back for what I think is the last screencast that I'll be doing for LSSL 5360 for the fall semester. So we're back at Live Binders. We're clicking on the binder for this course, and we're going to take a look at one last assignment for the class. And that assignment has to do with blogging. So we click on Assignments. You'll see a sub-tab right here called Blogging the Required Books. Once we click on that, of course, once again, you'll see that the contents here are in a Word document, which we'll click on to open. And again, you might want to save to your desktop as well, or to a thumb drive, however makes sense for you. And what we're going to be looking at then are the requirements for this particular assignment. It is a little detailed in getting started, but once you've got it started, I think it will make a whole lot of sense to you, not be terribly difficult for you to do either. So here are the directions that you see when you open up the Word document. Basically, you're going to blog the 30 books that are required reading for this class. I know that you're using them in your textbook discussion, but you're also going to create a blog with them. The purpose here is twofold. The major purpose for me is to get you used to not only creating a blog, but using a blog to record your reading. The second, and I think just as important reason, is that at the end of your MLS courses, you will be expected to create a live binder portfolio. And some of the artifacts that you can use to demonstrate what you've learned during the course can include blog posts that you've done, especially blog posts you've done after this course is over, to kind of keep it up, to keep talking to kids and parents and other teachers, librarians about the books you're reading. So basically this assignment is going to serve you, excuse me, a little bit later on in the program as well. So let's start with the basics. The basic is you're going to need to create a blog for this class. If you already have a blog, and I know some of you do, you can use it, but only if there is a way that you can separate and make distinct the 30 entries that you will need to do for this class. If you cannot do that, then please just go ahead and start another blog. There are a variety of free sites that allow you to do it. I've worked with LiveJournal. I have a blog there right now. I also have worked with Blogger and have a journal there right now. And I've used WordPress in the past as well. I don't have a particular favorite, but I'm going to be showing you basically how to do it with Blogger, and they all do pretty much the same kind of thing. So you're going to need to set up the blog, and I'll show you how to do that in just a couple of minutes. But first, let's look at what the requirements are for this class. Here are the minimal requirements for each of the 30 posts. And when I say minimal, I mean this is what I expect each and every one of you to do. The first is that each blog post will have a cover of the book. You can pull covers from Amazon, you can pull covers from TidalWave, you can use a Google image search, you can go to publishers' websites. That's up to you. I tend to use TidalWave more often than not, simply because it's there. They are all in the same kind of size and format. It makes it a little easier for me to do that. To use TidalWave, if you don't already have an account, go to tidalwave.com, set up your free account. It is free. You don't have to order books through it. It is basically Follett's service that's being offered to you here, and I use it often to pull book covers, to look at reviews. It's a really nice resource for me. But Google Images will also get them for you, so will Amazon, and if you want to track down images at publishers' websites, you're certainly welcome to do that. But I find one of those three is probably the easiest place to find the cover of a book. And again, I'll show you how to do that in just a couple of minutes. The next piece of the blog post is an APA formatted bibliographic citation for each book. You've already seen the APA format. You've seen it on the front page of the syllabus where it talks about the required reading for this course. If you're still unsure, there are plenty of online sites that will put the the bibliographic information into the correct citation form for you. You can find those through a really quick search. But APA format for books is pretty standard, and we'll be doing one together, as I said, in just a couple of minutes. And we did one, remember, for the annotation for that screencast. Then the other piece that I need for each and every book is a brief 50 to 75 word summary of the book on which you're writing. Don't pull summaries from other sources. Don't cut and paste from CIP, from Amazon, from Goodreads. This has to be one you write. And it is to be a brief one because you've already done some other work with this book. So this is not really to prove to me that you've read the book. This is to give sufficient information to somebody from outside who wants to know whether or not that book is going to be worth reading. Additionally, then, for each post, you need to include one of the 3 editions that you see down here. I'm asking that you please kind of sprinkle them around and do a 10, if you will, 10 books for each of the 3 editions. It can be 9 and 11 and 10. I'm really not going to be that picky, but I don't want one for one and then the other books being done only for one particular edition. So here are the things that you can do. A link to a trailer for the book. The trailer can be one that you create or one that's already created. You will be amazed to learn, I'm sure, that most of the books for this class already have book trailers created. You can do a search for them and then simply provide the link to that trailer so that when I click on it in your blog, it will take me directly to the trailer for the book. Remember, a trailer is kind of like a short video advertisement for the book, just like a movie trailer works. You could also opt to talk to me about 2 or 3 books that are related to the book that you're blogging right now. It's sort of, if you liked Harry Potter, then you might like these books. And what you'll do is mention the 2 or 3 books and make sure that you give me full APA bibliographic citations for each of those related books. Or finally, you can opt to give me an idea for a lesson plan that could be developed for the book that's being blogged. Include at least 1 TEKS for the lesson. Texas Essential Knowledge and Skills, you know what that is. And remember that you can go across content areas, or you can simply stick to English, Language Arts, and Reading. And then give me a short explanation of what that lesson would entail. You don't need to write out the lesson plan. I don't need to see something that detailed. But if you're going to mention, gee, I could use this book to teach this particular skill, give me a brief idea of what that lesson might entail. So let's kind of take a look first at a blog platform. We're going to look at Blogger, and then we're going to put the basic piece of the blog post together, and then we're going to come down here and we're going to create the addition to that blog post for one of the books. I hope that this will help you as you're going about trying to do this particular assignment. I do think it's easier if you kind of keep up with blog entries as you finish reading the books, but this is the final assignment for the class, so you can fit that work in however you want during Thanksgiving holidays, perhaps. And what you will end up submitting to me at Blackboard is simply the URL, the web link for your particular blog site. So let's exit from the Word document. We're back here now at Live Binder, but we're getting ready to leave that, and we're going to go to Blogger. Basically, it's blogger.com, and I already have several blogs that I maintain here or that I am an administrator or a co-author on. So you'll see right now it says, it recognizes me. It says Dr. L's blogs, and it shows the blogs that I have privilege of writing. And then it also shows other blogs that I read on a regular basis. And you can kind of scan down here, scroll down the page, and see that there are lots and lots and lots of blogs that I like to follow because they contain lots of good information. So if you're going to use Blogger or LiveJournal, it doesn't matter, or any of the other platforms, the first thing you're going to have to do is create an account. And they're all about the same in terms of usability, ease of use. So it doesn't really matter to me which of the platforms that you select. Just make sure that you kind of experiment a little maybe with each one of them. And then you're going to create a new blog. So I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to create a sample blog to kind of take you through the steps that you would use if you're doing Blogger. These steps are fairly similar as you go from platform to platform, but I figured I'd kind of start with this one. So I need a title for this particular blog. I tend to use very descriptive titles for assignments. So I would call this generally LSSL 5360, but again, it's up to you. You could call it Great Children's Books to Share with Kids. All of that is totally up to you. But I'm going to put in the really descriptive piece here, LSSL 5360, Fall 2013, blog. That just kind of makes sense. And then the address can be, you can create a domain or you can customize that domain, but those are things that cost money. So you can keep it really simple here, and you can simply call it the same thing. Well, it's telling me right now that that blog address is not open. Let's see if it still is. Well, it doesn't like that. So, whoops. I have to find a distinctive note here. So I'm trying to think out of the box here. Okay, so now I have an address for the blog. It's lssl5360blog.blogspot.com, and it tells me that the blog address is available. These here are the templates that I can choose to use for my blog. They're really simple ones that once you click on it, then it will be, no matter when you post, it's going to look the same again and again and again. We can kind of see what one would look like. You can always go back in and change it later if you don't like it. I've certainly done some noodling around with mine, and I do change the look of it from time to time because even I get kind of tired. So let's pick Ethereal. That sounds pretty interesting. And click Create Blog. So it says my blog has been created and I can start posting. So click on Start Posting. And it will take a minute or so for it to come up. This is the screen that allows you to do the posts for the books. And so let's do a sample post, and then we'll go back and we'll add some other features to this along the way. The post should have a title. The title is up to you, but I think it makes an awful lot of sense to use a book title. It just seems to me to be the natural way of doing things. So let's say that I want to blog about, and we're going to do a blog, obviously, not for one of your required books, but for a different book. So let's say we're going to do the True Blue Scouts of Sugarman Swamp. That's the new book by Kathy Abpelt, who's the writer of The Underneath. That'll be the title for my particular post, and this box is where I will put the other information that's required. I can add a photo, insert an image by clicking on that and choosing the file that I want to upload. If I haven't already downloaded the book cover, I have to go out and kind of grab it and then bring it back. But that's part of what happens here. Let's see if I've actually got this one. There it is right there. I can just simply click on it, say open. I'll get a screen that will show me a little thumbnail. There's my thumbnail of the cover, and I say add it. And you can make decisions here. Do you want the image to the left of your screen, on the right side, in the center? I tend to put mine on the left. That's just simply what I do. It doesn't really matter here. You can make them small, medium, large, or go with the original size of the particular file that you downloaded. And there in HTML code, that is the cover of the book. So I want to move down a little bit from that information, and remember that after I do the cover, that the next piece that goes in here is the bibliographic citation for the book. So I start with the author's last name, first initial, then in parentheses the year of publication, and then the title of the book. Remember that in titles, you capitalize only the first word in the title and then any proper names. So in this case, it'll be True is capitalized, and then Sugarman's Swamp is capitalized. You'll see this is just simply HTML coding right here. If you prefer, you can compose on this screen, but because the HTML code does not bother me, I just go ahead and do it this way. So after the author, after the year of publication, after the title, then comes the city of publication, most often New York, and the publisher, which in this case is Athenaeum. That's a division of Simon & Schuster. If you are not sure which publisher to put, I generally look at the spine of the book, and that is the name of the publisher that I elect to use. This is Simon & Schuster, but it's one of their imprints, Athenaeum. That's what's on the spine. That's what I use. Now, those are the first two pieces that are the minimal requirements for this blog. The next piece is, remember, a 50 to 75 word summary of the book. So you're going to have to think kind of long and hard about this, because while we've gotten used to, I think, in our academic careers, writing long pieces, one of the jobs of the librarian is to be able to, in a very short space of words, write convincingly about a book. It's a skill that takes some time, but once you've done it for a while, it is something that will come to you a little more readily. So as you're working on this blog, as you do post 2 and 3 and 4, you may struggle a little, but by the time you probably get to post number 10, this thing is going to be just like water sliding off a duck's back. So what do I want to say about the book? Remember, I want to give some idea of what the book is about. In this case, 2 raccoons, a giant, you get to see how poorly I type now, rattlesnake, and a cousin of the Yeti. Those are my main characters. It's the Who. Battle alongside a very human boy. For the swamp and surrounding area. Now, what's the problem? A corrupt politician and an alligator wrestler have plans to cement over the swamp and ruin the environment. That's the problem. I can give a little bit more detail about the book. One of the things that I want to convey is that the book is funny, that the book is kind of realism meets magic, and so my next couple of sentences should kind of allude to that. So that should do it. final sentence, in a warmly humorous account, Aphout makes us care about all the creatures of the swamp. So now I've got my basics for this particular assignment. I've got my cover, I've got my bibliographic citation, and I've got my summary. At this point, I can go ahead and say publish, and over here there's a schedule that allows me to set a date and time or just to have it published when I'm done with it. And I can also put tags or labels here. Those are sometimes important things to do. If I want people searching my other blog, for example, the blog that I've been maintaining here for several years has over 700 entries. And so if somebody comes to the blog and is looking for animal stories, I want to make it easier for them by giving labels to things like that. Whether or not you do the labels is totally up to you. It's not required, but it is handy if anybody wants to ever come and search your blog. And if you intend to maintain this, it's probably not a bad thing to do. So at this point, I'm not quite done. Remember, I still have one more thing I have to do, but I can publish it and I can take a look and see whether or not I kind of like what I see. And that's what it looks like. Look at that. Look at what we have done in just a few moments time here. We've spent about 10 minutes putting this together, and we already have something that's truly attractive looking. Now, the other thing that we need to add here, remember, is one of those three objects. So I can go back and I can edit this, which I certainly will do, and add the last detail that I need here. I want to go back to my posts, and you can see I've got this one right here, and I'm going to say edit. So I've got this screen open one more time, and I think for this one I'm going to go out, because I know that there's a trailer for the book. I'm going to go out and I'm going to grab it. So I'm going to come out here, I'm going to go to Google or Bing, because I can't remember where I saw this. So I'm going to ask it to search for me. And there it is. I knew it was there. I knew it was on YouTube. And it's going to take me to that site. And what I'll do is come up here.
Hey, Jemima.
Yeah, Bingo?
And I'm going to capture this particular URL. And then I'm going to use that in my, oops. So let me just copy it right here, because that's easier to do than when I'm trying to do a screen capture. I'm going to come back here to my Blogger tab. And insert the link. And now it will be there. I can then say go ahead and update my post, which it's doing. And I can go back and I can view it again to make sure that everything came. And there it is. You can see there's the link for the book trailer. So I can use that. I can cut and paste that, throw it into, whoops, and throw it in and be able to pull that back up. You have now completed one of your 30 blog posts for this. Now, if you want, once you look at this and you just say, oh, I don't like how this looks, you can come over here to Design. Design will allow you to choose different kinds of backgrounds, from simple, dynamic, picture window, awesome, watermark. You can see they have different kinds of things that are available here. You can go back to the classic templates. It's going to be up to you what you want to apply. So let's just say I want to do this one and say apply it to my blog. It'll say templates applied. So let's take a look at it. I like that a whole lot better. I don't know about you, but I think that's really pretty. Other things that you can do here under Design, you can put information about yourself. You can put information, you can put other pictures, you can do an awful lot of work here with layout. It's going to be totally up to you the kinds of things that you want to do here. So experiment around, see how you want this particular blog to look. Play with different backgrounds, play with different sizings, play with different fonts. You've got all these opportunities. You'll see what happens here, and this is what I love about the blog archive. It'll say that so far I have one whole blog in here. It was done in July, and that's the title. As more and more are entered here, of course, this is a really nice guide so that we can go back and we can look at everything you've done. So basically, that's how to put a blog together, how to write your first blog post. And remember, you're going to do this for each of the books that you read. You're going to go out, you're going to grab the cover, you're going to put up your blog post, and this is going to make then the work that you're doing available. It's going to be available to your students, it's going to be available to your parents, to your fellow teachers and librarians, and it's going to make you professionally active. You're going to have now a place out there in the social networks. So I hope you enjoy putting this together. I hope you maintain it as well. It's wonderful for new voices to get out in the blogosphere and show people what it is that you can do. So I hope this screencast has been helpful. If you have questions, remember, email me or leave me a voicemail on my office number. Thanks.